Um, I'm gonna go with the Elder Things from the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu universe. The Elder Things are these eldritch abominations. They're creepy things. The most famous of them is Cthulhu. Everybody knows about Cthulhu. It's a popular culture thing, and you might also know about the King in Yellow. But the elder things are these. They're called the outer gods, which is some creepy shit. And each one of them is like a real god. Like, what if God was like this cosmic monster thing that doesn't give a shit about humanity? So you have these twisted, Dark Souls versions. I really think Dark Souls is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, but you've got these twisted, dark, evil versions of gods, and they're really, for all intents and purposes, evil. You have something like Nyarlathotep, who can shapeshift into 1,000 forms, and he like prefers to come in the form of a pharaoh and kind of infiltrate into humanity and corrupt humanity and laugh at how corrupt he can make them. You know what I'm saying? With his goal being to ultimately destroy all of humanity. You've got Cthulhu, and he is supposed to be like the cousin of the god of all the outer gods, which I'm gonna get to in a second. But then you've got like beings that like guard time and space, and they grant their blessings onto men, but they drive them insane when they do so. You know what I'm saying? The outer gods are extremely creepy, but among them all is the god of all the outer gods. I forgot what his name is. It's like Azarath or something like that. I forgot what it is. But he sees the world. The world is he's asleep. And there are these demon musicians playing him music the entire time to keep him asleep. And he's dreaming all of the world. And if he wakes up, all of reality ends because it's just a reflex of his imagination.
Wow.
That's insane. Fucking creepy as fuck.
Right. Elder gods are beyond creepy.
Yeah. They're absolutely nightmarish. And they're these nightmarish creatures that, like, in one of the books I read, one of them mates with a human woman, and it gives birth to like this creature. The one that mates with the human woman, there had been this cult that had worshipped it, and like they used the Necronomicon or some shit, and they basically summoned it into this world, and it like made it with a woman. And so the being that it created was like this human-esque thing, but it's like part human, part, I think the thing's called Shub Niggurath. And like,
I think I heard about that in South Park, the game.
Yeah.
Talking about that it was a racist because it was just trying to
It
kill all
is.
the black parents.
It is, because H.P. Lovecraft himself is a racist. All the creatures he created were born out of his fear of the differences in people. He was scared of black people. He was scared of people that were from different places. And so in his mind, he visualized them as these terrifying people, which is a whole nother conversation for me as a black person. You know what I'm saying? But we'll have that conversation on another time. But his visualizations of individuals, of people, and differences in people became the monsters that informed his, legendarium or Cthulhu mythos and stuff like that. Another really good one that people know about is the King in Yellow, and he has this sign, and if you see the sign, there's a play or something like that, and like if you interact with the sign of the King in Yellow, it can totally shatter your mind, and it leads you to actually seek him out. And then you seek out the King in Yellow, and he's like a nightmare, and he like steals your soul, and he's really like, they call him the King in Yellow because he's like, he looks humanoid, but he's got like this yellow robe on, and he's in these ruins. Fucking nightmarish. There's a whole book called In the Mountains of Madness, and they find this city of like creatures that lived pre-human times, like billions of years ago, and they built civilizations across the world, and they invented humans. And one of their civilizations was in what was eventually Antarctica, because once upon a time Antarctica was green. So like they built this civilization there and it eventually freezes over. Humans find it billions of years later. And as they go deeper into the civilization, they find the thing that actually killed them. And it's like this substance that's like water, right? But it's water that can shapeshift. And it like has thousands of eyes and mouths and thinks and moves, and it chases the humans out or whatnot. And as the humans are leaving, they see something even worse than that. It's a great fucking book. Absolute, like Lovecraft, he's racist as fuck, but like his monsters are amazing. So that's my first one.
All right, so a badass feat.
A badass feat from H.P. Lovecraft's monsters. Okay, there are these dreamlands in his mythos. If you go too far in the dreamlands, you'll leave the dreamlands altogether and come out into the true reality, which is where the god of all their gods, Azarath, or whatever his name is, I can't remember what it is at the moment. I know you're gonna put it in post, but
I can leave them in disbelief.
But you can exit reality into the real world, and if you, in doing so, leaving the dream world, wake Azarath up, you'll end all of reality.
Dream reality or reality?
Reality.
Wow.
Because remember, he's asleep.
Yeah.
So if you wake him up, you fucked everybody. Probably even yourself.
That could be a great book where someone's trying to wake up. You know,
I'm tired of everything existing. Let me figure out how to wake up this guy.
Oh my goodness!
The only way to wake up, you said there are demon musicians keeping him asleep. Imagine if the only way to wake up the god to end reality was to kill the demon musicians. But you assembled a band of people to kill the demon musicians. Not telling me
what kind of power would they need to be able to do so? Because you're talking about beings that exist beyond time and space. The sleeping god Azarath is beyond time and space. Remember, he's dreaming all of reality. So like for you to escape the dream, it means you're like a dream bubble that became real.
I mean, unless the demon musicians actually exist within the dream, and that is how they were able to affect him outside of his dream, like keeping him locked in the subconscious.
Which is crazy.
Because how would something exist so powerful to keep the one true asleep, unless they created it themselves?
I think I always saw it as the Azarath, or whatever his name is, created the demon musicians first. They're a thing he actually made. Like he made them out of his power. And then reality is just something he dreamed. Maybe he'll get around to making reality, or maybe he won't.
What if we just wake up and say just keep it any goddamn way? What if we already remember some shit?
That's entirely possible too. I guess they never really explored that possibility.
What if he just wakes up and like, oh shit, I created a whole reality in myself.
I think it's called Azathoth. That's the name.
That sounds like some cool ass
sounds
shit.
Like something from Persona.
I'll probably walk out there and fall asleep too.
If you're familiar
to ever exist.
Like just walk to the edge of existence and just fall asleep into like a mist of emptiness where you have to worry about nothing, just fall to fucking sleep forever.
But you know that always brings in that's always that which came first, the chicken or the egg? How the hell did it come to exist?
Well, some things first off, we as humans are asking that question from a flawed position, because we don't even understand what life is to begin with. So how can we even ask the question of existence without understanding that off the top?
That's true.
This is definitely the most metaphysical conversation we've had.
Don't you just live to die any goddamn way?
We're gonna
check this. What if like in Hinduism they kind of posit that Vishnu exists like beyond reality, like he's dreaming the world on this ocean of, like, they call it an ocean of milk, I think. I might be wrong on that. I hope not. I really hope. I hope I'm not butchering this. But that he like exists beyond reality, and he like creates reality autonomously from his dreams. In which case, that's insane. That's an insane level of power. And like that's probably the best feat you can possibly come up with. I dreamed reality into existence in my sleep.
Yeah, that is insane. Absolutely insane.
Like
The level of power that would take.
Or what kind of what can you do when you're awake? If you can dream reality, then what do you do when you're
I
awake?
mean, if you're awake and you crush reality,
Or you can do something to reality. You can make reality in a way that we couldn't even imagine.
I see. The question is: are you making a reality, one reality, a different reality? Did you separate yourself? Did something force you to separate?
I believe it's Brahma I believe Brahma is the version of Vishnu that exists in the reality that he dreamt up. In which case, and much like with that in the Cthulhu mythos, I think Nyarlathotep is the version of Azathoth that he dreams up, or his cousin or his nephew or something like that. But it's like a version of Azathoth that can exist in the dream world and do whatever the fuck he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my first one. Is Azathoth.